What up, what up, what up? Let's get this thing shared. Welcome in, everybody. It is our 25th anniversary show. And by anniversary, I mean it's our 25th show. I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Getting started a little later. Had to do some grilling outside. So, you know how that goes. Let's see here. Getting things lined up here really quick. Give a shout out to everybody who argued with me all day on Facebook today. Thank y'all. We couldn't do this without you. Y'all are great for our engagement, our numbers. The more you comment and hate and raise hell and chew out the followers and everything else, the more news feeds you push us through. So I just want to say thank you. We could not do this without you. You make a huge difference in what we do. I'm just sharing this real quick here. So, I got ready to burn a mask tonight, and I realized I don't have one. I have one at work in my desk, and I have one in my car that I unfortunately have to wear to go in the grocery store. So, unfortunately, I didn't want to burn my only mask. But screw your mask. And if your mask works so well, why do so many mask wearers keep ending up with COVID? Because everybody who tells me that they've known, I don't know what it is about the number 8, but everybody keeps telling me they've known 8 people that died. That is a big number. I'm not calling you a liar, but if you could have only just taught some sense into them, maybe they would have worn their mask.
People want to know where I'm at.
Please. I see people already talking about unfollowing. Y'all like that matters. I don't care who follows, unfollows. You'll unfollow, 10 more follow. It doesn't really matter. We don't get paid to do this. I've told y'all that before. This is 100% me, my opinion. I don't speak for anybody but myself. If my wife wants to speak, she'll speak her opinion. We don't always agree. I appreciate anybody that follows. I really do. But if you choose to hit the unfollow button, by all means. You don't want to catch yourself living in an echo chamber where you only follow things that you 100% agree with. And whether you like me or not, I think most people, if they're being honest and being fair, you'll say, Clay's pretty down the middle, especially if you're a member of our JXN UNCENSORED group. I follow a ton of you guys. I'm friends with a ton of you guys that I don't always agree with in every platform on social media. I pride myself in following things and people that I don't always agree with. There's plenty of times that I've thought I should just hit the unfollow button or the unfriend button or the block button or the kick them out of the group button because their opinion aggravates me. And then I think to myself, no, that's what they would do. And I just, I catch myself and I'm way happier with myself when I don't do it because it does give you an opportunity to see another side of the argument. And I don't want to say anybody's changed my mind politically about stuff, but there are issues that the more you meet people and the more you hear stuff outside of the national news media, where it will tend to change your mind about some things. So we'll discuss that. I wasn't gonna jump straight into that, but I saw where somebody cried their way out of the off the page, allegedly. Let's give a shout out to our sponsors tonight. I made a trip, as I have been doing more and more here lately, to the gym at Byram. Hooked me up with a shirt. So, look, y'all be sure, if you're looking for a membership, looking for a gym to join, I had to flip to my page here. If you're looking for a gym to join, the gym at Byram. Great place, great people. They've got everything. It's a full service gym. This is the real deal. I was there, but I was off work today, so I was there around 2:00. They had one of their female trainers was working with a whole family of people, a mom, a son, and I think 2 daughters. I was on the treadmill, they were on another treadmill, and then they were on the other side of the gym. But I just thought, how cool is that, you know? The kids aren't in school, so they've joined the gym. The whole family is working with a trainer. Oh, I wish my family had got my fat butt with a trainer younger than they did, or younger than I did. Oh, but I just thought, how cool is that, you know? So I got over there, I worked out, got in, got out, talked to Bill and the crew for a little bit. I say got in and got out. I was there for 2 hours or so. But look, again, $50 for a single membership, $100 for a family. No joining fee right now. Come in today for a tour. Check out thegymatbyram.com for a virtual tour. Back open 24 hours a day. They're no longer having to check your temp at the door and all that stuff. You can wear a mask. You don't have to wear whatever. You know, wear your mask. Whatever. That's what you do. If you feel safer wearing your mask, do that. Anyway, the Gym at Byram. Our first official sponsor. Very appreciative of those guys. And not only do they advertise with me, I support them, and I've been a member for 3 years now. 3 years. Maybe 4. Let's see here. Give our other sponsor a shout out here. Danny and his crew at Father and the Son Lawn Care. Father and the Son Southern Lawn Care is, I think, the technical name. Family owned, locally operated. Full service lawn care. They operate within the Clinton, Byram, Florence, Richland, Terry area. Give them a shout. Phone number is 601-301-3210. Again, 601-301-3210. That's Danny White at Father and the Son Southern Lawn Care, based right out of here in Jackson, operating in the Tri-County area. Give them a shout. If you need your yard cut, manicured, all that good stuff, Father and a Son, Southern Lawn Care, 601-301-3210. Tell them Clay sent you. All right. I want to talk about a national story that I saw, or I heard about earlier today. And I heard Jake Wimberly and them talking about it on his show, and saw Clay Travis and them talking about it. And I was kind of coming and going pretty fast today and didn't get a chance to really dive into it until I did. Up in Ohio, there were a couple football players suspended for carrying flags on 9/11. Really disgusting story here. Let's see. 2 football players on the Little Miami, Ohio high school team have been suspended from the team after they defied school officials and carried a thin blue line and a thin red line flags supporting police and firefighters onto the field before last Friday's game on September 11th. Because God forbid support firemen and policemen on 9/11. Senior cornerback Brady Williams, whose father is a police officer, carried the thin blue line onto the field. I was just doing it to honor the people who lost their lives 19 years ago. 19 years ago, Williams told WKRP. The thin red line flag, which, as you know, is to support firemen, was carried by Jared Bentley. His father is a firefighter. I was all for it, he told Cincinnati TV station, because my dad is a firefighter, and if it had been him killed on 9/11, I would have wanted someone to do it for him. The 2 players asked school officials for permission to carry the flags, but they were denied. The players chose to defy the school authorities, and the school responded by slapping them with indefinite suspensions. Man, I bet if they had had a BLM flag, that nobody would have said a damn word. You know, again, by all means, carry that flag, but don't punish somebody who wants to carry theirs. We cannot live in a world where we turn firemen and police into villains. You need these people. Idiots. The school says, we cannot have students who decide to do something anyway after they've been told that they shouldn't be doing it. Little Miami Superintendent Gregory Power told WKRC. I want to say WKRP so bad. Remember that show, WKRP in Cincinnati? It was a
Less.
WKRC in Cincinnati. We did not want to place ourselves in a circumstance where another family might want a different flag to come out of the tunnel, one that may be one that many other families may not agree with from a political perspective, end quote. Brady Williams' mother, Kelly, wrote on Facebook about the situation and what it means for her son to take a stand. And I quote, "On the anniversary of one of the worst days in American history, my son and some of his teammates want to honor the men and women who gave their lives to save others. They want to honor firefighters and law enforcement officers by carrying the thin red line and thin blue line flags in addition to the American flag as the Little Miami local school Panthers take the football field tonight. Unfortunately, they were told no on the 19th anniversary of 9/11. Let me also say that one of their coaches is a police officer and one of the players lost a family member on 9/11. My emails to the AD, assistant AD, and AD secretary have all gone unanswered. I have never been more disappointed in a school's decision. Sometimes standing up for something that's right means you may have to stand alone. I'm proud of my son that we have raised, a son that knows right from wrong. He knows the importance of honoring the men and women who gave the ultimate sacrifice at a time when he wasn't even born. We will never forget." You know, those words ring so true, don't they? Sometimes when you're standing up for what's right, you feel like you're standing alone. And that's how I feel with this page sometimes. I feel like we're standing alone. Because apparently when I voted for Trump, I forfeited all my rights and all my rights as a Jacksonian. I'm not allowed to have an opinion or nothing like that. God forbid you want to fix this hellhole. Anyway, so an update to the story. The school district has reinstated the football players. Once it went national and went viral and they caught hell. And frankly, what a terrible name for a school. Little Miami. This is the high school. I would not want to be called Little anything. I see the comments are blowing up over here. I'm going to get back in them, I promise.
I'm looking through.
You can find this story on Outkick.com. It was a big story today. So the school district lost. The good guys won. Second update, both players have been reinstated. Two players have been, let's see. All right, so nothing additional there. So both players have been reinstated, and the school district issued an apology. You know, man, I get being woke. I mean, I don't agree with it, but I get it. To each their own. But be woke. Don't drag anybody else down with you. That's terrible. That is one of the worst. I mean, the ending is great, but it never should have got to that. That's one of the worst stories I've read this year. A policeman and a fireman's son suspended on 9/11 for carrying the thin blue and the thin red line flags out. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. I'm telling y'all. In your woke journeys to create, to force people to feel the same way you do, you're creating more people to dislike you and your opinions. What you're doing is creating it, making everything go backwards.
Everybody's loving the WKRP.
WKRP in Cincinnati.
What's his name, Les?
I think so. I don't know if y'all can hear Crystal over there, but she's talking back about the WKRP comment I made. We have another microphone on the way, so you will be able to hear both of us simultaneously within the next few days, I hope. Yeah, I think it was Les something or the other. Love WKRP. When I get out of school and I go down to Dad's store on Lynch Street, I'd sit back in the office and watch. What was that show? It was like a whole separate Nickelodeon channel that showed older replays of stuff.
Nick at Night.
Was it Nick at Night? But it played all day. Well, anyway, so I would watch the Jeffersons, WKRP,
Yeah.
and there was another 2 or 3 shows that I'd watch every afternoon.
He was on there.
Yep. I learned when I learned how to pour draft beer standing on a milk crate into half gallons.
All My Sons, the Brady Bunch.
Oh yeah, the Brady Bunch, WKRP.
It was Les Nessman.
Les Nessman, that's it. Les Nessman with the news. That's it. Thank you. Thank you, William. That was great. Thank you. Yes, man. I remember I used to drink orange juices, Borden's orange juice, and because it was the plastic bottles with you had to peel the top off. It had the cap on the top. Anyway, and when Cheetos went from being the big cheesy poofs to the Cheeto we know now, the thin one. When I would eat 2 or 3 bags of Cheetos a day.
What was the blonde lady's name?
I can't remember what the blonde lady's name was, but I could visualize her right now. You know, but they did like a WKRP or a radio station in Cincinnati did a big balloon drop or something one day. And it went terribly wrong and some people died as part of a big promotion in Cincinnati to do with that. It's one of the historic failures in promotional history.
She said, Richard said, Jennifer Marlowe played Lonnie Anderson.
Lonnie Anderson, that's it. That is it, Lonnie Anderson. I'm going to have to go back and watch some WKRP. That show is really good. I would love to. No, I don't want to see a remake of it. They would ruin it now with political correctness, but that is great. I want to go back and watch that. Okay. So let's jump into the local news, and we'll come back to this because I could talk retro, old school stuff all day. Did y'all see? And this is courtesy of the Jackson Jambalaya. The Rankin County company Gold Coast Commodities improperly released 418,000 gallons of acidic water into the Jackson, Brandon, and Pillahatchee water supply. And they have been shut down.
It's right there off Value Road in Brandon.
Value Road? Yep. So they have been shut down. Let's see. Mississippi Department of Environmental Quality says Rankin County Company sickened neighbors, dumped acidic wastewater into Jackson sewer system. Mississippi Department of Environmental Quality said Gold Coast Commodities operated a wastewater treatment plant that sickened neighbors, improperly released hydrogen sulfide gas, and improperly released 418,000 gallons of acidic water into the environment. The agency ordered Gold Coast to shut down facilities on September 11th. The order also states Gold Coast illegally dumped millions of gallons of industrial wastewater into the Brandon and Jackson water systems or sewer systems. Problems began when the city of Brandon determined Gold Coast discharged oily, acidic water into the Brandon sewer system. The city filed a complaint with the MDEC in October 2016. A MDEQ report explains the nuts and bolts of the Gold Coast Commodities operation. Look, I'm not going to get into all that. It's a lot of fine print here. Long story short, a company in Rankin County poisoned people in other counties. Terrible. I'm going to tag this story here and drop it in the comments of this real quick for you guys. If you want to read it, check it out. It's always good to keep up with what's going on with our water. You never know where it's coming from. It's bad enough over here in Jackson. We don't need to be poisoned by our neighbors. And get it, it's a privately owned company, whatever. All right, here we go. Hold on, let me drop this into here real quick. All right, there's that story in the comments there, so y'all know what we're talking about if you want to read further into it. Watching the Weather Channel here, it looks like we really dodged a bullet with Sally. That girl. Ooh, Sally. I've been waiting to do that all day. I've been doing that all day. So we dodged a bullet with Sally. We're praying for Alabama and Florida and the Panhandle down there. You know, we hope that they don't get flooded out too bad. Really bad deal there. Praying for our folks on the coast. Hopefully it stays to the east of them there. That's just like the last thing we need right now is more weather. It's like, what's next, man?
Fire tornadoes, you know.
Oh yeah, we saw fire tornadoes in California. I mean, I just expected a shark or Satan to jump out of that fire tornado. It's like, good Lord.
It's a lot.
I'm kind of perusing one of my websites here just to double check something. There has been a shooting in the area. Man in critical condition after being shot in neck while driving. Let's see. Where did this happen at? I'm going to give you 3 guesses where this happened at, and the first 2 don't count.
Okay.
What do you think?
City? Or what? What am I supposed to guess?
A driver got shot in the neck
Okay.
riding through somewhere in this area.
South Jackson.
I was just going to say Jackson.
Okay.
Jackson.
Jackson.
I was trying to get Crystal to guess.
Well, Jackson.
Jackson, yes. So let's read on WLBT. A man is in critical condition after being shot Tuesday afternoon. Sam Brown with the Jackson Police Department said a 38-year-old male was taken to the hospital after being shot in the neck and the shoulder. The victim said the suspect drove up next to him while he was driving and fired several shots. This shooting happened on White Hill Drive and Beasley Road. So it happened in North Jackson.
North Jackson?
North side? Happened on the north side. Yeah, I mean, look.
People are saying aliens are next. I just know it.
Now, there are aliens. It ain't even next. Did y'all see the video of the alien, of the unidentified flying object in New Jersey that was caught on camera? I mean, this is actually making mainstream news. I'll see if I can find the story and link it back in the comments here. Phil, what's up, man? I see y'all. Shout out to everybody in the comments there, man. We love you guys. Thank y'all for tuning in tonight. You know, I always say, I could probably put this on a t-shirt at this point. I wasn't going to do a show tonight, but I saw something that pissed me off, and I was like, I'm doing a show tonight. And now we have sponsors, so I actually have sponsor obligations, but sometimes you just get frustrated, and you're like, man, I'm just going to take the night off and take a deep breath, and I don't want to say anything I regret.
Regather yourself.
Yeah, kind of gather myself a little bit. And then we were grilling tonight. Man, grilled some amazing pineapple habanero pork medallions and some chicken breast. And really looking forward to getting off here and eating those. But just reading some of the comments, just some of the things that people say to me. And I'm not worried about me. They just some of the things they say about y'all, the followers. You can say whatever you want to about me.
Or your family.
Yeah, some of the things they say about the family and the followers. And like I said, I'm used to it. I've been called everything. People bring up stuff about me all the time. Like, I mean, look, I'm an open book. I don't think there's anything in my past that you could bring up at this point to blackmail me about that I haven't already talked about and given in my testimony. You know, so whatever. Yes, I was a failed business owner, but I was a very successful one for about 15 years. Yes, I used to do a lot of drugs. Yes, I still like to drink. Yes. Name it. Yes, check all those boxes. You know, how dare I redeem myself and try to do better in life? Because I guess once you do anything wrong once, that's just who you are. Because God knows the people who run around and bash other people are perfect. But anyway, I digress.
It's just them deflecting.
Do what?
It's just them deflecting, you know.
Yeah, oh yeah. It's just them deflecting, and that's cool, man. But what I don't like is when they just sit on here and they talk bad about you guys. Because how dare we have a differing opinion? And I wouldn't even say that this is a different opinion. I would say that this is a fact that masks don't work. I don't care what you see in the media. I don't care what Dr. Dobbs says. And I've got something for him towards the end of the show. Remind me to talk about Dr. Dobbs. Okay. Let me write it down here. I don't want to forget about his recommendation for the holidays. Don't forget.
I will remind you.
All right. Wrote it down. So then we've been arguing a lot since I posted the thing about burn your mask. And everybody's like, oh, this guy's an idiot. All the people who follow that page are idiots or effing idiots or Mississippi people are stupid. Da, 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 da. So I just wanted to, and I think it's safe to say it's a lot of people that live in Jackson saying these things, and a lot of white liberals outside of Jackson. All you got to do is click on their profiles and see where they live. Most of them have it that are using real profiles. So I was curious. I'm like, are we the crazy ones? Because it feels like, and I'm going to go back to what I was saying at the beginning of the show. Everybody that tries to shove the COVID and mask narrative down your throat, all of them know 8 people who have died from COVID. Or all of them says, go find somebody that works in the ER and has had to stack bodies and do. That ain't happening here. I'm just telling you. I do have friends in the ER. I do have doctor friends. I may be old South Jackson trash, but I know a bunch of people. I actually get out and talk to people. Those things aren't happening here. The total deaths in the state of Mississippi that are being called COVID is 2,734. Since, I'm guessing, 1st of March, when all this started. Yes, that is 2,734 people that we all wish we had back. But about 2,500 of them were people in bad shape with, what's the word I'm looking for? Underlying health issues. But we can dive into all that later. I'm not going to get into the...
Andrew asked if that's a might make you a little sticker on your computer.
Yes,
okay.
It is. It is. I am an old school. I couldn't stand on a skateboard nowadays, but I am an old school South Jackson, Powell, Peralta, Santa Cruz. I love my old school skateboard stuff. I've got a couple old decks I'm actually going to hang up back here soon. Well, they're new old. They're retro. They're redos, but they're really cool. I got a Cabrera, a Calabrera or whatever. Anyway, they'll be up soon. I actually got the mounts and everything. So, look, Mississippi COVID numbers are as such. Confirmed cases, 84,912. Probable cases, 5,611. Total cases, 90,523. Can somebody explain to me where probable cases come in? What is a probable case?
Maybe they had some respiratory issues and
they just couldn't.
They believe it's COVID, but maybe it hasn't come back as COVID yet.
So it's like when Dad and my dad and my daughter were both sick, and one of my other daughters checked off every box for COVID. Both took 2 tests each. No COVID. I mean, and I was just like, well, damn, we better be careful. It's tearing through the house. Nobody else got sick, and they were COVID free, minus the taste buds. I mean, couldn't taste anything, couldn't smell anything.
Yeah.
Checked off all the boxes, and no COVID. I'm wondering if they were counted as one of the probable cases. So, here's the numbers I really wanted to dive into, though. I thought that given the demographics of the people who keep telling me that I want to kill Jackson by not wearing a face mask, that I would dive into the cases and deaths in Hinds, Madison, and Rankin County. I'm not going to take long here. If you're bored with this, give me 90 seconds. I'll be done with this. Madison County, cases, 3,146. Deaths, 85. 45 of those deaths are at long-term health care facilities, nursing homes, whatnot. So that means 40 deaths in all of Madison County from people that caught the COVID, had underlying health conditions, didn't have underlying health conditions, that were not in long-term health facilities. 40 deaths. Hinds County, that's Jackson, in case y'all didn't know. Hinds County, largest county in the largest population in the state, unless DeSoto has passed us. 6,846 cases. 152 total deaths. 62 of those 152 deaths were in long-term health facilities. 62. That is so 90 deaths in all of Jackson. All of Hinds County. That is Jackson, Clinton, Byram, you name Edwards, Bolton. All of Hinds County. 90 deaths outside of nursing homes, hospice centers, places like that. All these shutdowns, all this other crap, all this mask. Got a song stuck in my head there. 90 deaths. Don't know how many of them people would have died, would have passed away from something anyway or whatever. Or how many were gunshot victims that they counted as COVID? How many were car wreck victims that they counted as COVID? I don't want to discount anybody's death, but I don't trust a single one the way they've reported it and the way they've lied. But 62 in nursing homes and long-term care facilities. Rankin County, Pearl, Brandon, Florence, Richland, you name it. All of Rankin County there. 3,094 deaths. 3,094 cases, 73 total deaths, 18 in long-term care facilities, which makes it for a total of 55 deaths in all. So, as you know, Crystal's a nurse, and and she worked in hospice before she got into what she's doing now. So I asked Crystal, I said, well, that is a really low number for Rankin County. I said, they must not have a whole lot of nursing home beds and whatnot. She goes, no, there are a ton of nursing homes in Rankin County. Mm-hmm. So I don't know the breakdown and how many are in Madison County. I'm guessing, I don't want to name any names because I don't want to get a lawsuit here. I'm guessing what ends up happening is when you have, say, 45 LTC deaths in Madison County, that it tore through one particular facility. Again, I've heard which one it is, but I'm not going to name it because I don't want them suing me. Then Hinds County, there's a lot of older long-term care facilities. And, it is what it is. 62 there. And in Rankin County, only 18. I think Rankin County, to have a large population like it does, has really stood around and kind of shown that you can get in these long-term care facilities and done right, you can prevent a lot of deaths. So I just wanted to break that down. So the one county where I get the most hell from about masks is the one county that I assume everybody in it is wearing a mask. I am an extreme minority in this county. A non-mask wearing straight white male conservative. We are a dying breed in Hinds County. So I would just assume that everybody here overwhelmingly is already wearing a mask. Well, why are so many of you guys getting sick with the COVID if you already got your mask on? I thought masks worked. I don't want to feel like I lack compassion talking about this, but the replies and the responses that I get from some of the stupid people just rattles my brain sometimes. I'm like, literally, I'm not an analytical person, but I went to cdc.gov and then I clicked on Mississippi and it took me to the Mississippi Health Department page. I wrote the numbers down very simply here, just wrote it down just like that. My terrible handwriting and all. Wrote it down. I'm looking at it. Are y'all seeing something I'm not? I don't know what y'all are seeing that I'm not seeing to tell me that this thing, there's no way that everybody in Jackson knows 8 people that have died from COVID. I'm sorry. Mathematically, you can't. You cannot all know the same 8 people. Because with 152 total deaths, What is 152 divided by 8?
You really asking me that?
Well, 80 times 80 is 160.
Right.
Or 80 plus 80 is 160. So 20. 8 times 20 is about 150.
Well, yeah, 160.
Whatever. My math is terrible. You get the point. How many of y'all, there's no way everybody who's told me they know 8 people who have died. Let's do some math real quick.
Everybody's saying, I wouldn't go to a doctor's office right now for anything, to be honest. People are talking about, Rachel says she broke her toe. It's been very painful, but she won't go to the doctor.
Okay, so
I'm one of those, like, I don't want to go to the doctor.
total deaths.
Yeah.
If you divided it by 8. So everybody knows 8 people that died. That's for, I don't know where y'all got that number from. Somebody must have said it on CNN. 342 of y'all would have to know 8 people that died separately. You're lying. That's all I'm saying. You did not know 8 people that died from COVID.
John Stranger said the same thing I did. 8 times 20 is 160.
Yeah. So 8 times 20. That is all in Jackson that passed away. So all it would take would be 20 of y'all to know 8 people that died to get to 160. And I've had at least 200 of y'all cuss me out in the comments and tell me you know 8 people that died. You don't all know the same 8 people. I'm sorry. I'm a big fan of 6 degrees of separation, and it's a small, big city, yada, yada, yada. But somebody's lying. And I don't know a single person individually that died from COVID. I have a friend of mine's mom that died, but I never met her. I've had people tell me they know people that died, but I did not know them.
It's real.
Yeah, I'm not doubting. It's very real. COVID is real. I'm not a COVID denier. COVID is absolutely real. But I think I am absolutely one of the, I would say in the top 5% of all Jacksonians that know a lot of people. I'm not saying that makes me a popular person or anything like that crap. I'm just saying I know a lot of people. I can't go anywhere without running into somebody that I know. And knock on wood, thank God, I do not personally know a single person that has passed away from COVID. Thank God. I'm not complaining, but I'm making a point that of all the people I know and come in contact with, I don't know a single person that I need to delete their phone number out of my phone because they passed away from COVID. You know, so I don't know. Somebody says I have had 8 of those. If you were going to have it at home, you were tough.
They're talking about Tanya's passing kids. She's refusing to go to the doctor because she doesn't want to be exposed or be around.
Oh, kidney stones.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm kind of late on the comments there.
So even people that actually need to go to the doctor aren't going because nobody wants to be, you know.
Yeah, I don't want to be a statistic. We went to a family birthday party Saturday night out in Richland. It was outdoors. You know, I have an aunt that had COVID. Mm-hmm. Like a week ago, I heard, I'm not going to say her name, but say my aunt had COVID. I said, well, damn, I hope she's all right. And we walk in the party, it's the first person I see. I was like, I thought you had COVID. She's like, I didn't have COVID. She goes, I'd been sick for 2 weeks. I was well for a week. They gave me a test and then told me I had to quarantine for 2 weeks after she was already well. But she was like, I didn't have anything. I never felt anything COVID related. Mm-hmm. So, and my aunt, she's in her late 60s. You know, I mean, thank God nothing happened to her. I mean, look, it hits everybody differently. I'm just making a point. If masks work, wear yours. You and your family wear y'all's. Don't go near your elderly relatives if you can avoid it. If you're out and about, I'm not bashing anybody that wears a mask unless you wear it in your car by yourself. Then you just look ridiculous, and I am going to talk about you. I'm absolutely going to talk about you if you wear a mask in your car by yourself, or just in your car. Period. If you're with somebody and they're riding in the front seat of your car, for the most part, you probably spend a lot of time around that person, and it's too late anyway.
I understand the Uber driver.
Yeah, I understand the Uber thing. I really do. I mean, look, we took an Uber for my birthday. We had to wear a mask. It is what it is. I don't like it. But I'm not going to fight everything. I mean, I get it. That's their rules. I'm in their car. I chose to get in their vehicle. I had to abide by their rules. I get that. Mm-hmm. If I go into a grocery store and it says you must wear a mask, I put it on to walk in. I'm not gonna disrespect the business. I'm not gonna do that. But I can say that I don't agree with it. Can we not say that? Can we not say we don't agree? Now, anything city owned and operated, county owned and operated, screw you. I'm not wearing a mask. Y'all can attempt to arrest me. I'm not hearing it. Yeah, as much crap as y'all let go on in Jackson, don't tell me I have to wear a mask. Let's see, man. Let's see what we got here. So I can buy a Primatene Mist over the counter, so I don't need to even go see my doctor for that. Nick, what's up, brother? Tanya, go get those damn kidney stones checked out. That's got to be terrible. I read years and years ago that drinking X amount of beer helps prevent kidney stones. And I have clung to that like no tomorrow. I have clung to the drink beer to prevent kidney stones, and knock on wood, I've never had a kidney stone. Cranberry juice. So there was another thing the other night. Let's backtrack to pandemics here for a second and numbers. So I said something last night, and I was wrong. I want to correct myself. I feel like that's how we keep credibility, is we admit when we're wrong about things. I was discussing H1N1 versus COVID, and I said way more people died of H1N1. I was incorrect. I was half right, though. I said a lot more people had H1N1 and died from it. And I was correct. There are a lot more people had H1N1 than have ever had COVID. Within 1 year, April of 2009 to April 2010, 60.8 million Americans had H1N1. There were 274,304 hospitalizations, 12,469 deaths. COVID, so far this year, we're 6 months into it, 6,537,627 cases of COVID nationwide. 54,425 deaths. Hospitalizations. 54,425 hospitalizations from COVID nationwide. Deaths, 194,092. And we know for a fact, based on what all sort of local coroners and whatnot have come out and said, these numbers are not true. But let's just pretend for a second they are. So a lot more deaths. And no matter how you cut it up, COVID is way more deadly than H1N1. But I do find it strange that there were only 54,425 hospitalizations versus 250,000. You didn't hear nothing about the overflow of ICU and ventilators and everything else with H1N1. Even ventilators and ICU aside, 250,000 hospitalizations in 1 year from something, on top of car wrecks, heart attacks, cancer, everything else. I don't remember hearing anything about the overflow of hospital space. Maybe there was. In 2009, I was in a different headspace. So, admittingly. But you just think if it was something to this extent that you would have heard more about it. And I'm not even counting SARS. I didn't go back and pull those numbers up. This is just H1N1 versus COVID. Even if we doubled the COVID cases in a year, you average it out for the year, you'd be right at 13 million. versus 60.8 million H1N1. That's a lot, man. I mean, that is a lot. Mm-hmm. I don't remember this big production about H1N1. It was a little bit about it, but it was, that was a China thing. It was China. And nobody had a problem with it being a China thing. But now it's a problem calling it China. Anyway.
Somebody said, what's up with Kenneth Stokes, a.k.a. Big Swole, seen shopping in Rankin County? Does he not feel safe in his own district? LOL.
Well, I will defend Stokes on this. So I don't know if y'all could hear. One of the commenters asked, what is up with Stokes being seen shopping in Rankin County? Well, in his defense, there is nowhere to shop in Hinds County. For the most part. I know there's some places, and I don't want to knock them. Highland Village is a great, great place. Westland Plaza is an amazing shape and been well taken care of to be right there on the corner of Ellis and Robinson Road. It amazes me how long that shopping center has been there and is in great shape. Kudos to the ownership group there. Highland Village. There's a couple places, but I mean, they're just in and out. You lack a lot of options in Jackson. Even if you have to go into North Park. People forget that North Park is not in Jackson. That is Ridgeland. So, technically, I mean, if we're splitting hairs.
William asked, was H1N1 in an election year?
2009 was not an election year. That was the second year of Obama's second term. Mm-hmm. So, there was nothing politically to be gained from it. So H1N1 happened to 2009 to 10. April of 2009 to April 10 is what these numbers are based on. So
when did the market, everything crash?
08. The market crashed in 08. And no, I'm sorry. 2009 would have been the first year of Obama's first term. Yeah. I've lost some years there. Yeah, so Obama's he got elected in 2008. So the market got blamed on the Republicans and all that, which ushered in the Democrats. Deservingly so. That was a disaster. Really, the banks, but, whoever's in leadership is going to take the fall for that. That was a disaster of epic proportions. But, I talked about, we're talking about the market collapse in 2008, and I'm going to get back to the rest of the story here in a second. The market collapse in 2008, I remember when it happened, and I was like, I remember seeing on the news, entire neighborhoods, banks just flattened. Yep. They said instead of letting the houses sit there empty, they just flattened brand new houses in neighborhoods. And I was like, Mississippi is so poor. I'm not saying nobody here was affected. People were affected.
Oh, they were.
But Mississippi's so damn poor and last and isolated from everything that I didn't personally know anybody that lost their, even so much as lost a house in 2008. Now, down the road they did. Once that balloon interest payment and all that nonsense came full circle. But it just seems like, I'll never forget, the Alabama Song of the South. Mm-hmm. It was like the stock market fell, but we were so poor that we couldn't tell. Mm-hmm. That is what I feel like in Mississippi. It's like every time the stock market crashes.
Sweet potato pie and shut my mouth.
Yeah, sweet potato pie and shut my mouth. Anyway, I don't want to offend anybody that dabbles in the stock market a lot and has lost money. I'm just.
I knew a lot of people that were affected.
Yeah. So.
The neighborhood I lived in, I mean, you could see it.
Yeah.
It was awful.
It's terrible. But yeah. So somebody asked to me to do SARS numbers tomorrow night. And I will. I'll pull those up because now I'm curious. And I could pull them up right now, but I want to be able to break it down and get it on paper for y'all. Let it make a little more sense than me rambling off what I'm reading online. That seems to work better for me. I like to do my research first versus jumping straight into it. So yeah, we'll look at SARS versus COVID versus H1N1 tomorrow, and kind of see. And I think that testing has gotten so much better now, and just in the last couple months, that more people are being forced to get tested now that college students are back in. I mean, I saw a number the other night that the NFL had done 40,000 tests. for football players, which I'm glad they're playing. I'm glad that it wasn't canceled. I don't care. I don't like the kneeling. I'm not watching a lot of it. That's another conversation for another time. But that is 40,000 tests for football players. You know those numbers are being counted in the testing. All the high school players that are being tested. All the college players. I mean, man, just to pull college football off, do you know how many tests they're having to do nationwide? It's crazy.
A lot of people are talking about the COVID test that people were in line for but never actually got. They got tired of being in line and left, and then got notices in the mail that they have COVID.
So, Crystal's talking about people in the comments saying that there were a lot of people that sat in line for long amounts of time. And I guess this is back when you went online.
It was Jordan said this. He said, numbers don't add up. We need to determine what the definition of it is. What I mean is the term cases have been thrown around so loosely. People waiting in line for hours and then changing their mind and then, have positive cases.
Yep. So I don't know if y'all can hear Crystal over there, but when this first popped off and they did get the testing spot set up, you had to go online. You had to check off a bunch of boxes. You could lie. All you had to do was lie. Say, yes. I have all these symptoms. They're like, okay, well, come get a test. Well, the lines were ridiculous at some of these places, and people just said, screw this. I'm not waiting for this. Or they found out how far they had to stick that thing up your nose. And later on down the road, they got letters in the mail saying that they were positive. There's reports of people, and this has made legitimate national news, if you consider national news legitimate, of people who had passed away before COVID getting letters in the mail saying they were COVID positive. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, look, man, they're going to spin this however they want. I have not trusted the medical professionals in this city, in the state, since they told us all that the back to work rallies were racist and COVID super spreaders, and they walked their asses right out of UMC and took a knee for the Black Lives Matter protest and told us how great and how needed it was and how important it was. I have not trusted a thing a medical professional in this state has said since then.
Not even me.
Well, I trust Crystal, but our quote unquote medical, the white coats.
I question everything. Like, I want to find out the facts.
You can't tell me one protest is bad. I'm never going to let that down. I'm never going to let that go. The state medical professionals telling us that the back to work rallies were dangerous, racist, and super spreaders. But they walked their white coat wearing asses right out to the field in front of UMC and took a knee with the fists in the air for the BLM rallies.
Nikki
and
said,
I'm not going to quit ranting about that ever.
Yeah, Nikki said, I know 3 people that were in a car, put their name and number on a list, waited an hour, drove off. Got a call about 2 hours later saying all 3 were positive.
Yep.
They were never tested.
Yeah, a bunch of those, that kind of stories. And I don't doubt any of them. I saw something today, or Dobbs got on there today on the press conference and did some alleged myth busting. Here it is. It says, top Mississippi health officials debunk COVID rumors. I mean, but they didn't debunk anything. They just said, believe us. I don't believe you. I haven't believed a word any of you have said since you told me one protest was dangerous and the other was not. Here's the link to the story in the comments.
You wanted me to remind you about Dr. Dobbs.
Yes, so Dr. Dobbs, speaking of which, in today's press conference, I caught about 5 minutes of it. he tells us all to go ahead and plan on not having a Christmas and Thanksgiving with our families, to only spend it with our nuclear families. Which I don't know why this whole nuclear family has become such a word in the last year. I've been around for 43 years and I've never heard the phrase nuclear family till this year. Then I realized I'm a very pro-nuclear family person. But I didn't, and there is an attack on the nuclear family. Mm-hmm. But why is that phrase, why is that term being so used now? Immediate family. It's the same thing. Your immediate family is your nuclear family, mom, dad, kids. Mm-hmm. That is the people you live with in the house are basically your nuclear family. When I say mom, dad, I mean husband, wife, kids. The people you live with, or your blood relatives, and whatever, your immediate family, or your nuclear family. It's pretty simple. I don't know why that we're suddenly using that phrase so much here lately, but Dobbs says to set this one out and don't spend it with your extended family, only with your nuclear family, which I've done that every year anyway. That's easy for me. I don't like gatherings. But that's my nuclear family.
You don't live with pretty mama.
Jordan says, Clay, I'd love to sit and watch all with you love to sit and talk with you one-on-one sometime soon. Jordan, absolutely, brother. We go way back, man. Love to sit down and come over here and sit in the other chair and do this live with me sometime if you want to. We can just sit down and have lunch one day somewhere. Tanya says, Dobbs would hate to sit down with my doctor. Look, Tanya, I agree. Look, I'm not going to, people tell me stuff in confidentiality all the time, and it's people I trust, and it's people who are in the medical profession. Again, I told you, I do know doctors. I do know ER workers. I do know people that do this outside of your white coats at UMC that go out and take a knee.
And it's not all me.
Yeah, and it's not my wife. I mean, Crystal's not a doctor. Crystal's a nurse. I do know doctors and stuff as well. And they just look. I know people who run nursing homes, and they're like, man, our numbers don't back up these numbers they're spewing. It's BS. But so Dobbs says to go ahead and plan on not spending Thanksgiving or Christmas with your extended family. They're going to cancel Halloween. You know it, which I'm cool by me. I canceled Halloween 15 years ago at my house. The front of my house is so black and dark, lack of light, black on Halloween that you damn near can't see the house from the road. But there's always some little runts that still knock on the door, but they don't get nada. I'm not open.
They will this year. I'll be here.
They will not get anything this year. We're not.
Sit out there in a lawn chair.
You can sit out there in a lawn chair. We are not. I can't stand Halloween, so I don't care if they cancel it or not. But I just hate to see anything get canceled. Halloween is the holiday of Satan, anyway. Kidding. For anybody throws something at me, cast a spell on me.
Christy says, I've also talked to several doctors and nurses. Their narrative doesn't match what's being put out there. Just shows how not free we really are. Truth can't be shared because people lose their jobs or get their businesses shut down.
Yep. I know people can't hear you over there, but
I'm trying.
I know. People just talking about, again, they talk with medical professionals and they can't publicly share their opinion because
It's Christy Slovich. I don't know how to say that.
Christy, let's see. Christy, I don't want to butcher your last name trying to pronounce it, but you're absolutely 100% right. And I do agree. You can buy the candy the day after Halloween. I do the same thing. I like those little mini, I love Tootsie Rolls. That's my favorite candy. I will go buy the fire out of them. Misty says, too late, Clay. Already put a spell on you. Don't go cursing my wedding anniversary. But yeah, look. So like Christy was saying in the comments here is a lot of people are scared to death to talk, especially in the medical profession. They'll get blackballed. They get fired.
You can talk about me, just don't say who.
Yeah. I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, like, you are not allowed to have a differing opinion. You're not even allowed to question it. Mm-hmm. You know, it's just, it's wild. I mean, these multimedia, social media companies, there's things that we can't even say in these videos, not cuss words, not we can say anything like that. We can talk about that Netflix show. Mm-hmm. We can talk about children doing things they shouldn't all day long. They don't care. But if you question COVID and legitimacy of COVID and what the CDC or the WHO say, they will blackball. They will shadow ban your videos. That is all very real, very legit, not conspiracy theory. They are really doing that.
Especially to people in the medical field that want to say something.
Yep. So, man, it's wild. Y'all stay safe out there. And we're talking about COVID. I'm talking about from COVID Karen and COVID Kyle and Corona Bro and COVID Chad. We had a COVID Kyle on here, all in his feelings yesterday. Chewing people out under the burn the mask thing. I can't put that much energy into arguing people. If I see you with a mask on, that's all I do. I see you with a mask on. I know if you tell me you wear a mask, I'm never going to personally attack you for wearing a mask. But if I tell you I don't, and you personally attack me, well, then I'm going to repay the favor. I just don't. Why is it that the pro-maskers are the ones cussing everybody out? You don't see the anti-maskers randomly searching social media for pro-maskers and cussing them out. Yeah. Really weird, man. That's a strange place to. I hope to one day have so much free time in my life. It's one thing to host a show like this and have an opinion, but it's just that. It's just my opinion, and I don't force it on you. I don't make any of y'all watch. I'm glad you do. I don't make any of y'all. But if you stroll through stuff on social media and you see something you don't like and you just said, I'm going to message that person, and you message them and cuss them out over something you don't like, man, that is a strong level of batshit crazy, and you need to go see a doctor. You really do. I mean, I've got the screenshots from a lot of y'all, and I'm going to report you to your family members and your local physicians. I'm going to call the local Crime Stoppers hotline and give them your name. If anything happens to me, COVID Kyle did it. You know, Corona Karen. All right, look. This is our 25th JXN Uncensored. We went a little over an hour tonight. Look, I never know when the last one. You never know which one of these is going to be the last one. The goal is to do 100 of these by the end of the year. When we set out to do this whole YouTube stuff, Facebook stuff, it started out with a cooking video on New Year's Eve in this kitchen right here. And I said, look, our goal this year is to do 52 videos. That's one a week for the year. No matter one form, fashion, or another, whether it's Save Jackson or cooking with Clay or whatever channel it was. Mm-hmm. And we have done over 70 videos we haven't done a cooking video in a while, but we've done I think there's 65 videos on the Save Jackson channel alone. So because of you guys' support, we have smashed our goal and had to set a new one. Actually, I had created a show that we never planned on doing. So it was just going to be YouTube videos and pictures and whatnot. But here we are, reading the nightly news to you guys. So look, I just want to thank everybody. The 25th episode. So glad we got to this point, man. Again, I'm so grateful for you guys for letting us into your homes every night, into your phones, into your computers, onto your TVs, however you watch us. It's really cool. Much appreciated. Please hit the share button on this. That goes further than anything else you can do. If you're interested in sponsoring and becoming an advertiser on the show, it doesn't matter what kind of business you have. We love supporting small business. We're very affordable. We will work with you. The more you want to do in advance, the better deal you get. So we're not going anywhere. Lord willing, and the creek don't rise anyway. Be sure to follow us on YouTube at Save Jackson, on Instagram at Save Jackson, on Twitter at Save Jackson. We are in all those places. Let's close it out real quick with a shout out to our sponsors again tonight. The Gym at Byram. Got the shirt on right now. thegym@byram.com. You can reach them at 601-372-2229 or thegym@byram.com, at the Gym at Byram on Facebook, at the Gym at Byram on Snapchat, at the Gym at Byram on Instagram. Just like Save Jackson, they own their space. The Gym at Byram. Again, 372-2229. Tell them Clay sent you. They're back open 24/7. All right. If you need your yard cut, and in Mississippi, the grass stays growing until about November. Hit up Danny White, father and a son, Southern Lawn Care, family owned, locally operated, right out of here in Jackson, Mississippi. Born and raised, 43 years, still living in South Jackson. Give him a call, 601-301-3210. That is 601-301-3210. Tell Danny that Clay sent you. Save Jackson, and he will come out and see you. Byram, Clinton, Florence, Richland, Pearl, Brandon, that whole area there. He will come and take care of you. Again, we appreciate you. We'll be back on tomorrow night. I don't see no reason why not. Every time I say we're not going to do a show tomorrow, we do a show tomorrow. So we're here until we're not. So thank y'all. We'll see you tomorrow night. Save Jackson.